the start where he worked for a billionaire by the name of Charlie Munger, co-chairman of Berkshire Hathaway with Warren Buffett. And he was able to double the sales of 9 different companies for Charlie, all within 12 to 15 months, and several of them multiple years consecutively. So he realized he had a system for doubling sales, and the concept is very simple.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show. This is hosted by me, Nilesh Jain, and today we have a super duper amazing guest. And this is where we interview entrepreneurs, affiliate marketer, coaches, and consultants. And in this amazing series of interviews, today we have super awesome guest. She is the CEO of Chet Holmes International, which has worked with over 250,000 businesses in the worldwide. She is the daughter of Chet Holmes, and Chet found the concept of Dream 100 and wrote a New York Times best time selling book and Ultimate Sales Machine, which is recently become a best selling book once again. And congratulations to Amanda on that point. And at the age of 24, she inherited her father's million dollars enterprise, which specialized in helping comparison companies double their sales. And her success has made it clear that she was born to lead. In the first 2 years of taking helm of the company, Amanda increased leads by 1176% and double a coaching client 2 years in a row. So without further ado, let's have Amanda on the stage. Hi, Amanda.
Hello.
Hi, it's really glad to have you, and I'm super thrilled to be on this amazing interview. So, thank you so much once again for joining us and giving your precious time to us.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. So, before we proceed further, are you hearing me loud and clear?
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we can directly start like you are a songwriter, singer-songwriter. So how was the transition from a singer-songwriter to a CEO of an international organization?
Terrifying. Yeah. It was I had no idea about the business. In the year and a half before my father passed, he spent over 300 nights in the hospital and never a night alone between my mom, my brother, and myself. And so I easily spent 100 all-nighters with him. And never once did he sit me down and say, Amanda, here are my businesses. Here's who runs my businesses. Here's what I'd like for my business. We never had that conversation. And yet there was time and we could have. So it was rather shocking to then have my father pass, who I was very close with, and I loved him very dearly. So to go from mourning his loss to now there's a couple hundred people all looking to me. They're double my age, majority of them, and I have no idea. So originally they just gave me a title of chairwoman of the board. So, and over 2 years, I hired and fired different C-suites to try and fill that void because I really didn't want to step into the business until eventually I did. But it was a wild ride, definitely.
It's a completely thrill journey, but because at the age of 24, you are just too young. Like I'm just 26, so I know when we are 24 and 26, on what moment we are going on. And just now you mentioned you handle this position of CEO, and in your previous interview you mentioned like you did a webinar at the age of 26, and there were 400 plus CEOs in the room. Some of them were older, 50 a year older than you. And you were teaching them how to double the sales and all those things. How was your feeling at the moment? And are you nervous, excited? And how did you handle this feeling?
Yeah, I think the only skill set that really came over from my singing career was that I'm very comfortable in front of crowds and audiences. It's always been natural for me. I feel more natural on a stage in front of a group of people. So, and then I also came from uh, entertainment. So I know the concept of, okay, let's keep people engaged, let's keep them entertained. I could do that. And then I used the script that my father had put together. He'd been training organizations, right, for decades on how to double sales. So my script was there. I could present it. It was just massive amounts of fear of like, well, I'm only 26. How? I've never done this before. But then I also thought, well, we have sales people that are also doing these presentations and they hadn't done it before, but my father had, and everything that I was presenting was based on what he had done. So I a lot of this was the mental breaking through of the barriers, and my guru actually was a huge part of that. Sarvalokama, Her Holiness Shri 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 1008 Guruji Punamji. And maybe you're familiar with, are you familiar with Baba Neem Karoli Ji Maharaj?
Not
Neem
exactly, but
Karoli Baba?
yes, yeah,
Neem
I
Karoli
heard.
Baba.
Mhm.
Well, he's my Paramparam guru. So my guru is the living heir to the gifts of Baba Neem Karoli. And so she helped me realize all these mental barriers and helped me be able to step through them and just see, I am here to serve. I am here. My prayer was, please, I grant myself permission to connect to my higher self. Please use my hands to be a conduit of light and love. So when I release, when I release the necessity to have it be about me and instead recognizing this was about the people that I'm serving, and it had nothing to do with what I had or hadn't done, and I just come from this place of how can I best serve them. Then I started doing these webinars on a regular basis. Majority of the time it was several hundreds of CEOs on the call, and I was guiding them through, and I just had to engage them. I had to keep them interested. I had to keep their attention. And our strategies are timeless. They've been proven over decades. So just trusting in that and being there to think of them and their results helped immensely. That's how we were able to double our clients multiple years in a row and
Wow,
change.
completely awesome. So we can say, uh, spiritual thing is something that has helped you a lot in your journey. So would you like to add on more point? How exactly it helps you? Like you mentioned, it help you in a mental way. It give you a sense that I am here to serve. But and I remember you mentioned in one of your interviews, like you invest your 5 years with one Guruji that you mentioned right now. So that 5 years, how it actually transitioned you as a person?
I've studied under my guru for 10 years now, actually, and
Wow,
it's everything.
it's
I mean, absolutely everything. When I first met her, I was allergic to wheat. If I smelled pizza, I would get nauseated. If I talked to somebody with alcohol in their breath, usually like beer on their breath, I would get nauseated. If I actually ate it, I would have to go to the hospital. So it was a very high allergy to wheat. And she said to me that every disease in the body is just a disease of our minds. And when we can release that from our minds, then our body can be cured. And I said, wow, I'd love to learn because, no Western doctor has ever given me a cure. They just say, don't eat this food. So I traveled all the way to Singapore to study in her ashram and go through a program of hers. And in 3 months, she helped rebuild my stomach lining so much so that I was cured of celiacs. And I just went, oh my gosh, this is a miracle. This is amazing what you're teaching. So when I came back to the United States, I inherited, that's right when my father then passed. And then all of the company came onto my shoulders. So I studied under her this whole last 10 years of how to better unlock more of your brain capacity, because our intellect is inhibited by our own fears, our own angers, our expectations, our guilts. And it's those emotions that when we're unable to manage our own emotions, then we don't make logical decisions that are in our best and highest good. So I have gone through her classes, helped me with discernment, because meditation, I mean, by definition, it's an altered state of consciousness. And yet so many people think that meditation is just sitting quiet. But when you sit in silence, the monkey mind, the chatter in the mind usually just gets louder. unless you've truly mastered your mind, which is not a first step of meditation. So she taught me that to have an altered state of consciousness, if you use the sound of your own voice and you speak it outward in repetition, it actually helps to calm the chatter of the mind so you can get into a flow and actually experience that altered state at a much faster rate. So I used meditation and different chants like Gayatri Mantra. I do all the time.
Wow,
Waheguru, I do all the time.
awesome.
Um, I'm still memorizing Hanuman Chalisa. I haven't gotten to memorization, but I do it a lot. So Om Namah Shivaya. I mean, all of these chants that I would throughout my day. I'm perpetually coming back to that place of trying to raise my intellect. Yeah, repeating mantras. So she's helped me. I mean, my company wouldn't be here today if it weren't for Guruji.
Wow, thank you for sharing this amazing insight, because we are personally limiting ourselves to achieving higher things, and your guruji is actually help you, and your spiritual thing and all the mantras that you share, they have really deeper power. Every single morning I also listen Hanuman Chalisa and Gayatri months sometimes, so definitely they are create an inner peace that yes, I'm here to serve, and I'm here to make impact, to serve more. So with that, let's move to again. So at starting of your journey, within a say 2 year of your business, you generated a 1176% of your leads. Like you doubled it. So what was the strategy that you changed and that helped you to increase this number, this massive growth into your business?
Yes. So my father taught a concept called the Dream 100. He invented it. And it came from the start where he worked for a billionaire by the name of Charlie Munger, co-chairman of Berkshire Hathaway with Warren Buffett. And he was able to double the sales of 9 different companies for Charlie, all within 12 to 15 months, and several of them multiple years consecutively. So he realized he had a system for doubling sales. And the concept is very simple. So there's always a smaller number of better buyers than there are all buyers. That means the marketing and selling to them is cheaper than marketing and selling to all buyers. So he led an intensive Dream 100 where he just focused on 100 of their better buyers, and that assisted him to double sales in multiple companies several years in a row. Now, I looked at that concept and went, okay, it's been a couple years now since my father passed. I want to do something to re-engage and let everyone know that we're here to stay. So I reached out. I did, instead of a Dream 100, I really focused in on a target 12. So I went out to 12 of the biggest names in my industry, and I said, we're doing an event that will be the largest virtual event of the year. We're easily going to reach a million entrepreneurs. It will be educational. This person, name drop this person, this person, this person. I'm talking with this person, this person. If you'd like to be a part of this, we could assist you, and you could, generate some leads from it. So from that, I managed to get, I think I reached out to 16 and I got 12. And from that, we generated another 30,000 leads. Just that one event generated 30,000 leads without me spending a dime on advertising. Like if I had spent money on it, it would have cost me several $100,000 if I had done it just with ads. But it was about finding those that had big followings already who happened to know of our brand. And I just cultivated them all together to lead this event. And it was a 6-hour event, a 6-hour virtual summit. And the average person stayed with us for 4 hours and 32 minutes. And these are CEOs. They're canceling their meetings, going on to a meeting, canceling it to come back on to the call because they found so much value out of it. So that really, in one 6-hour event, it went from tragedy to triumph. We were again known by the industry. Oh, okay, they're here to stay. That's so good. We love what they teach. And, it secured us back at top of mind for many people.
Completely insane, completely insane. And the Dream 100 strategy that your father is invented is literally super awesome. And it is something that is, when entrepreneurs go and use it in a proper way, they definitely go and make a huge number of improvement in their business, right? So, would you like to give some more insights on how entrepreneurs can also go more deep with the Dream 100 and categorize their Dream 100 in a proper way? Any list down, any framework?
Yeah. So it's strange. Majority of businesses think that they know who they market to and think they understand their customer. Very often, what I found after interviewing all of our clients that use Dream 100, those that are successful, those that fall off and don't get the success they're looking for, it really comes down to not being very clear about who is on that list. Like, people will say, oh, Dream 100, I need to come up with 100 names. And then they give up before they've even made 100. That's why I say, if you could even be super focused and just identify, I mean, 1, 5, 10. It doesn't have to be 100. Today, you can hyper focus. And when you look at that list, the first thing you can do, I'll give everybody homework here that's listening. I love Abhinandan. I don't know how to say his name exactly, but I
Yeah,
love his.
Abhinandan.
Yeah.
Abhinandan.
I love seeing him in the comments. He is just there with us. I'm so grateful.
Yes.
Uh, but my advice would be go back and look at the last year of your business. You can even go back 3 years' time and analyze. So you want to pull up all the clients you've had and how much they've spent with you, and then organize it for the people that have spent the most with you to be at the top, and just look, because majority of the time what we find is that 80% of sales are made by only 20% of clientele. The 80-20 rule is so common. And for those that are selling straight to consumer, look at where you get those clients from. Is it a specific place? Is it a specific referral partner? Is it a specific website? Because that would be who your dream client is the one that's bringing all of those people. Or do they all live in one certain neighborhood? So I would identify from what you've already done to figure out who are those bigger, better buyers, so that you can replicate that process. And when you really look at them, you have to see, right, where did they come from? Let's look at the lead sources. Let's look at what is in common. What made it so that they were great? Is it because you had similar core values? Do majority of your bigger clients come from the golf league that you're a part of, or do they come from the church that you both share, or where are those clients coming from? And then once you've come up with who those better buyers are based on historical data, then you go through the checklist of, okay, do they generate me more money than my average client? That should be one question. Do they generate me profitability? Because just because they're spending a lot more with you doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting profit for them. Because if you're working quadruple the amount to get that bigger, better buyer and there's no profit margin, then that's not a dream buyer for you. Next, you want to understand, do what you give them, does it serve them the best? So just because you've sold them, does it make them happy? So you want to find those that when they purchase from you, they're very happy because it's a product market fit, right? You want to find those that are the best fit. That is a dream client. Next, you want to understand, is there an ease to selling them? For instance, when I first started my Dream 100, I focused on the Fortune 500 companies because I thought those are the biggest and the best. They'll spend the most with me. However, when I started selling them, I realized that getting through procurement is so difficult. It could take me 6 to 8 months just to get through the door, get all of the decision makers agreed, and then they've purchased, which ideally I'd like to have a much shorter span. So somebody in the high 8 figures or low 9 figures could purchase the same kind of package from me, and it wouldn't take me 8 months to close that deal. So who is a better buyer for me? Somebody that spends a lot with me, is profitable, right? That when I fulfill on them, it's profitable for me, that they actually get the best benefit from my product or service, that it's ease to sell them. And then also I want to have it fun. If they're not fun, I don't really want to work with them. There's enough fish in the sea today where we can really identify who are the clientele that fit our core values. And then when we find them, it's a no-brainer. So that's a good 5-point checklist to determine who your dream clients are.
It's completely insane. It's completely insane. Like, do they have spend quality? Are they profitable or not? And they are really get benefit from us or not? And are they really enjoyed work with us? If they are not, then definitely we don't have to work. And literally awesome if they get qualified with these factors, and then you can go and work with them. And it is completely insane. Thank you. So right now, if we can say, there is a lot of entrepreneurs think that there is a too much competition in the market, and you have been in the business for quite a long time. So, what do you think? Is competition really there, or is there no competition? What's your thought?
Well, we're on the precipice of a pretty serious recession coming our way, right? And just by what happened with COVID, and now we're seeing inflation rise like crazy. We're seeing the cost of living increase significantly. We're seeing layoffs happen. We're about to go through some serious economic times. And those that, you know, I am so lucky that I get to be surrounded by leaders of industries across several different industries. And the way that they're talking, because they have the leverage, is they're positioning themselves for when their competition goes out of business during this next economic dip. They're figuring out how they're going to buy up their competition when they're on their last leg. So, right now, yes, competition is fierce. Right now, you need to be the best you can possibly be, because those that are lesser are going to go out of business just based on what's going on with the economy. So I would really focus on yourself. What are the skill sets that it takes to run an operationally efficient organization? Which I talk about Dream 100. Yes, that is a great strategy. I talk about education based marketing to get 9 times more of your clientele in the door from what you're already doing. And that's just around adjusting your messaging so you're leading with an education. Yes, those are wonderful ways to generate more sales. But honestly, right now, the least sexy thing is what entrepreneurs need to focus on, which is, do you run effective meetings in your day? Are you getting done what needs to get done? Are you utilizing, if you have staff, are you utilizing your staff to the fullest? Are you communicating clearly? Because in times of disarray, everyone needs to be on the same page. So do you have a format? Do you have a framework for how to make sure that everybody's giving their feedback, and you're managing expectations, and you're collectively coming up with answers so that everyone has their buy-in? Because when things get hard, then CEOs stand up and feel, I need to come up with every solution. I need to solve all of this. But then you don't have a buy-in from an entire organization. You don't have buy-in from a team. So teamwork is going to be critical. I would get hyper great and singularly focus on, how can I be better at my time? Time management. We have the same 24 hours in a day as any billionaire does, but the difference is they've mastered the ability to manage their time. So for those of you that haven't read The Ultimate Sales Machine, you have to get it.
Yes, guys, you
ultimatesalesmachine.com.
have to.
Right. I don't know why you wouldn't. My father, people paid him hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to get what he put in this book for less than 20. I mean, it's just a steal. The first chapter is Time Management Secrets of Billionaires. There's 6 steps to improve your productivity by 500%. That's absolute. The second chapter is how to go from 0 to 100 million and beyond, and that's around having effective meetings. We have 56, just in the United States, we have 56 million ineffective meetings happening every single day. You'll ask anybody, death by meetings, right? We don't run effective meetings. So I would start blocking out those core competencies that are just skill sets that you need, that gets your ability to make tough decisions quickly, to get buy-in of your staff, to get everyone on the same page and communicating for what we're about to experience, so that you can deploy something like a Dream 100 campaign, so that you can shift your messaging so that it's more strategic and lead with education rather than just pitching your services and only reaching 3% of the market. But I really I'm shifting everything that we're doing and even crafting out some new trainings specifically around these simple concepts that isn't sexy, but holy cow, it's what we need right now.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you for this literally amazing things sharing with us, like time management. And guys, I'm dropping this link of Ultimate Sales Machine in the chat box in the description. Go and check out. If you didn't purchase it, go and buy it right now. I'm still waiting for my book. It's
Me
still
too.
didn't
If it
see.
makes you feel any
Yeah.
better, I don't. The publisher has still not sent me my book, and I'm the author. So
Oh
I
man.
apologize. It should be coming soon.
No worries. But yeah, I'm super excited for that one. So, what was your biggest challenge as a CEO over the last 8 years? What kind of challenges have you faced?
Everything. So many.
Would you like
Um,
to share one or two? Any?
I had a lot of people that I thought I trusted that were not trustworthy. The people that were, family members, people that have been with our organization for over a decade. And when my father left, they saw it was just very greedy, and they attacked my family. So that was probably the hardest. And over the last 3 years, more intensively, I've really focused on crafting and attracting a team that has very similar core values as me, and that I'm a lover. My father was a little bit more of a fighter. I'm more of a lover, and I want to be surrounded by people that are care and have a servant mindset and have an impact driven piece to them. And that's who I've chosen to put around me. So that the people around me was a very big difficulty.
Okay, got it. Yeah, definitely you are lover because you love music, and most of the time musicians who love playing, singing are really love soft-hearted kind of person, because I can relate with you because I love music. Before this entrepreneurship, I tried to go into music thing. I did give audition in some platform as well, but yeah.
Oh.
So that's why I'm connect with you more on this point. So you were grown up in an environment of successful businessman and an entrepreneur, like your with your dad, Chet. What kind of advice did you get from your dad related to money, mindset, relationship?
But my father's favorite quote was, uh, what was it? Maturity is when all of your mirrors turn into windows. So he would perpetually remind me over and over again that it's about looking out to those around you and caring about them and rising them up and looking to asking them questions and being more interested than interesting. And that was a big learning for me throughout my life. He was very big on that quote.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this out. And guys, can you just share few things about your new book? And I'm dropping this link in the description for the people who have no idea about it.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. I've spent the last 4 years working on the new edition to make it
Mm,
upgraded. I mean, all of the timeless strategies on there are the reason why it's, one of the most beloved sales books of all time. I just updated the tactics. So where my father talked about yellow pages and faxing, I've now implemented, social media DMs and
mm.
text messaging and voice drops and automation. So just updating what was already brilliant and making it relevant for the businesses today.
Thank you so much, Amanda, once again for sharing tons of golden nugget with us. And thank you so much, everyone, like Abhinandan, RJ, and every single people who is watching us. Thanks so a lot, and have a great day. Bye bye.